How much does Hashem love your average Jew? The Chachamim say in the Midrash, there was one time a crazy sheikh, Arab sheikh that had a lot of money, like most of them, and he decided to build a tower in the middle of the desert. There's no economy there. There's no reason. There's no rationale. There's no money to be made. But he decided to make this huge, gigantic tower with 25,000 employees just to build this tower. Huge, monstrous tower with the highest luxuries and all these things in the middle of the desert. There's nothing else next to him. It's not like Dubai where they built a whole city. No. It's one tower. And he built it. And he lived. And he died. 400 years later, a righteous Jew was going through the desert and got hot and was looking for shade. And he saw across the horizon, he said, oh, there's some building over there. And he got the strength to go to this building. And he sat in the shade for a little while. After he finished cooling off, resting, he left. And the day he left, the tower collapsed and got destroyed. The Chachamim say, Hashem put this machshava, put this thought in the sheikh's head 400 years before to spend an exorbitant, unreasonable amount of money and use an exorbitant amount of unreasonable amount of resources of people to build a ridiculously unnecessary building in the middle of the desert that no one's ever going to be in. Why? Because 400 years later, one of my sons is going to need the shade. So people ask today, how do I know if Hashem loves me? You're saying that everything in the world was created for me. That's what every Jew is supposed to say. The whole world was created for me. So one of the Avrechim asked the Rabbi Ephraim a question. He said, how could this be? There's a rhino somewhere in Africa. How could that rhino in Africa be for me? It's a tough question for us. Rabbi Ephraim says, it's very simple. This rhino, somebody likes looking at rhinos. Somewhere in Africa, somebody likes to look at rhinos. Enjoys to look at rhinos. You know, some people like to watch videos of lions. Some people like to watch videos of birds. There are some people that take pictures of birds in all places. They travel around the world just to take pictures of different birds one time in their life. And they have a collection and they make an album and their whole life revolves around taking pictures of birds. Some people like rhinos. He says there's one person in Africa over there where the rhino lives that likes to look at them. Once in his life. And when he wakes up and he sees, look at that. Look at that, rhino. Yeah, it's a rhino. Yeah, it's a nice rhino, no? Yeah, it's a rhino. He likes it. He got in a good mood. And he goes after, he's in a good mood now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. And he's in a good mood. Why? You saw the rhino first thing in the morning. And he goes to work. And he works at some company that makes fabric. Makes fabric. But today he works a little bit better. Why? Because he's in a good mood. He's in a good mood. So he works a little bit better. And the shirt, the fabric he's going to work on is going to be good quality. That fabric is going to be sold to another company. That company is going to take that fabric and make it into a shirt. That shirt is going to be put label on it, and be sold to a company in New York. That New York company will say, oh, we're going to resell it to the stores. Those stores are going to sell the shirts to the public. One of those customers is a Jew who wants to buy a shirt. And he wants a good quality shirt because he doesn't have that much money. And he wants the shirt to last for a while. And he says, you have any good shirts? He goes, actually, you know what? We just got this shirt in. Try it on. He tries it on. He says, wow, what a shirt. What a shirt. I'm gonna take this one. I'll buy it. and he enjoys that shirt one time, for Shabbat. For Shabbat one time, and then it spilled ketchup on it from the kids. But he enjoyed it one time. For that, it was worth it for Hashem to create everything I just said to you, starting with the Rhino. For one Jew to enjoy his Shabbat, one extra second, because he bought a shirt. If there was no Rhino, the guy wouldn't have been in a good mood. If he wasn't in a good mood, he probably wouldn't make good quality work. If he didn't make good quality work, probably didn't sell it. The company wouldn't buy it. The company wouldn't buy it. The customer would never buy it. He'd never buy the shirt. He'd buy it at a different store, and he wouldn't be that happy. Hashem says, for me it's worth it. Hashem says, for me it's worth it to create all of that for my son, my daughter, to be happy one extra minute in the world on Shabbat. That's how much Hashem loves you. When a person knows such things, if you haven't fallen in love with Hashem yet, this should make you fall in love with him. You say, wow, he's really worried about me that much? He made a rhino in Africa just for me. He made a kangaroo in Australia just for me. He made a building somewhere just for me. He made the road have stripes on it just for me because I like to look at stripes, because I need to use the stripes, and so on and so forth. All of this is for me. Yes. Why? That's not, what, it makes you have a big ego? No. You didn't make it. Hashem made it. It just means that he expects a lot more. He expects a lot more. Beginning with, learn how to say thank you. Learn how to say thank you, Ribono Shel Olam. Learn how to say thank you. Begin with that. Then we can start developing into other things. Once a person falls in love with the omnipresent, once he falls in love with the makom, a lot of great things can happen. Because that requires him to learn more and more about Hashem. He realized, wow, Hashem is doing all this for me. What can I do for Hashem to show him my love? Well, first I need to get to know him. How do I get to know Hashem? Well, Hashem, you want to talk? No, you can't do that. How do you get to know Hashem? You learn His Torah. You learn His Torah. You become obsessed with His Torah. You go to Shiur Torah. You study after the Shiur Torah, before the Shiur Torah. The whole time, you're constantly looking for ways to get closer to Hashem by learning about Hashem. But learning by itself is not enough. You have to do what Hashem said.